I'm now with Mark Hall on the Lancia Motor Club stand. Good afternoon, Mark, and welcome to the Classic Motor Show 2024.
Thank you very much, you're most welcome.
So can you give me a little brief history on these four cars we've got here, starting with the grey one over there?
Absolutely. The grey car is a Flaminia, which was the flagship car that succeeded the Aurelia. The Aurelia was a groundbreaking car for Lancia for many reasons. It was the first production car to have a V6 engine that worked.
Right.
The Flaminia was its successor, and it's the flagship car. And around that era, many of the Italian coach builders would take cars and put their own bodies on them. So they're
typically Italian, really, isn't it?
Absolutely, but they showed their craftsmanship, and they're names that are famous now. So Zagato, Pininfarina, and so on. This car is one of only 827 that were ever made as a convertible, and it was done by Carrozzeria Touring. The owner had never owned a Lancia before, and he bought it. He knew it needed some work, and inevitably when he got it, it needed full restoration, and he's done all the work on it himself, including the paintwork. At this year's National Rally, he took home nearly all of the prizes. He could barely carry all the prizes for the standard of the work that he's done. So it is an eye-wateringly good example of one of Lancia's best flagship grand tourers.
It's invariable. That seems to always happen. Somebody gets a car, I think, oh, it doesn't need much doing to it, and it's a full restoration in the end, isn't it?
Absolutely. They are cars of their era, and that is a car from the 1960s. So it's 70 years old now, and so inevitably. But if you get the chance to look around it, the engineering detail on it is fabulous, and it belies its age, and it's a triple carburettor engine. Triple carburettor, and I have goosebumps about balancing a twin carb.
Yeah,
It's a triple carburettor engine, and yet when it arrived here off the trailer, stone cold, we started it, it idled, we moved it, I had the pleasure of manoeuvring it into place, and the clutch and the brakes and the steering are intuitive. You wouldn't know it from a modern car today.
And you said it, what, 70 years?
Approximately 70 years old. So yes, that is a car that at our national rally we do all the club awards, but we also have a people's vote.
Right,
and everyone who comes to the rally, and there were 250 people there, they could vote for their favourite car in the field. We had 130 cars, 250 people, and that got nearly a quarter of all of the votes. It's the car everyone in the field wanted to own.
Yeah, it's lovely, isn't it? Lovely model. So, have you got a little bit of history on this one?
Yeah, so this is an Aprilia.
Right.
Now, Vincenzo Lancia made his breakthrough with the Lambda, which we have over on the back of the stand. And the Lambda was the first car to ever employ a monocoque construction. Right. Before that, everything was chassis frame with a body on top. Lancia himself used to travel backwards and forwards to America a lot, and he dawned on him, hold on, a ship's hull doesn't have a chassis, it's an integral thing. So he thought, what if I built a car based around a ship's hull? So he came up with the monocoque principle.
Right.
And the Lambda was hugely successful across 9 series, and he needed a successor. And if you look at the two side by side, you would never guess that the Aprilia is the successor to the Lambda.
No, it doesn't look anything like it.
It's a generation apart, but this is a beautiful example. It was restored by a previous member, and it was sold 7 or 8 years ago to the current owner, who uses it extensively. And you wouldn't tell from the condition, but it is massively used. Again, it's a monocoque chassis, a very, very narrow angle V4 engine that then went on to be used in a lot of Lancia cars and the Fulvia and so on. It will drive at 65 miles an hour on a dual carriageway all day long and still have enough acceleration to overtake a lorry if it needs to. And this is a car from the 1930s. And it's got Lancia's own invention of independent front suspension. So many firsts again.
This here, is these the indicators?
The trafficators, yes. And the other thing is it has suicide doors. So you can open both doors and have complete access to the interior. So they're now very popular as wedding cars because you can get the bride in in with her dress very easily.
I like the two rear windows as well. I think they're really cute.
Absolutely. There are so many styling details that just set the Italian cars apart. They were considered because rarely did the factories design their own cars. They would do the oily bits and they would get the Italian coach builders to design the styling for them.
I really do like the shape of this, I really do. So can we get on to the two races now?
Now you're more into my era. The Stratos, obviously iconic as a rally car. The genuine factory cars are worth eye-watering amounts of money now and are very rare, but there is a growing market for what people might call replicas or recreations.
Recreation, yeah.
There are a couple of really well-known brands. Lister Bell and Hawk are the two best known, and these are from those manufacturers. Neither of these are genuine factory, but they're probably better engineered. Certainly for the UK market, the factory never made a right-hand drive version.
No.
So these can obviously be constructed, but they're not kit cars. They are recreations. They are thoroughly engineered. You don't start with an old scrap car and rob bits from it. They are properly engineered replica cars.
I saw Marco Allen race rallying one of these. You know, the proper Lancia on the RAC rally years ago. Amazing car.
I remember him from the Integrales rather than the Stratoses, but yeah.
They always looked a bit back heavy, you know, not top heavy, back heavy. There was so much power there. They were always full opposite lock, you know.
It's all about agility, and back then the fastest way around a rally stage was sideways. So
that's why they were so good.
Hence the short wheelbase, wide track, rearward weight balance. But obviously the originals had the Ferrari V6 engine in, which was lovely, but is unbelievably rare and expensive now. So the vast majority of these are fitted with the Alfa Romeo Busso V6, the one with the iconic chrome inlets, work of art in itself. But it makes it a much more modern, much more usable, tractable car. And because it's not as valuable as a genuine one, they're used, which is what's brilliant about it. They go round, they go on holiday in them, they go to shows, and they do use them, which you'd be scared to do if it was a genuine factory.
So do you know the owners of these two cars?
I don't know the owners of these two, but they are sat just over there.
Fantastic. I mean, to see two together like that as well.
Well, there is a third one.
Oh, right.
Just the other side of the column as well. And that one's actually up for sale at the moment, but it's a six-figure sum. So even as a replica. But it all with these, it's all about the level of skill of the person that built it. But like I said, the factories that do provide them are properly engineered replicas. They're not just kit cars.
That's great. Thank you very much for that interview, and hope the show goes well for you. Getting plenty of interest.
It's been the busiest Friday we've had so far. So
it's very busy, isn't it?
We're grateful and worn out at the same time.
Well, thanks very much again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks very much. Thank you.